Kelly.
I saw you dancing over there.
Yeah, doing a little jig. That's the drummer in me. I can't help you. Get a little. It's kind of like you get a really cool little jig like that as a drummer. It starts to warm you, especially before you start a show. Hey, there's our friend that got flipped. Let's go. He's like, what are y'all waiting on?
You're impatient.
You're wasting my time. Yeah. Hello, Keith and Kelly. Thomas.
Hi, Lori.
Hey, Lori Peabody. Is Lori? Hi, Lori. Are we friends? Andy Andrews. Hi, guys.
Yeah. Oh, it's your bubble.
I don't know. Is Lori Peabody? Are we friends?
Lori's a dear friend of mine.
Lori, I'm Keith. I'm that guy. Listen, they dropped all the charges. I'm a free man. I'm with this girl right here. So as far as my little dear heart, my colleague, Andy Andrews in the house.
Yeah.
Look at everybody, all our peeps. Hey, so tonight is going to be a really cool show, but we figured really kind of before we get started, so if you see the national weather, there's the a little bit going on there with storms coming my way for Texas, and we'll see how we fare through that. Kelly's weather's been like right out of Wizard of Oz all day.
Listen,
and all of a sudden,
we're about ready to start. And like earlier in the day was fine, started clouding up. Thought I heard thunder, but it could have just been a random pet that I have roughhousing. And then all of a sudden we're ready to start. And there's a dog shaking at my feet, laying under my desk. Like the other one's like pinned to the side because of thunder and lightning. So I hope that we don't, and you have storms now too. So I hope we don't lose any signal for the show.
Yeah, so we're hoping that's not the case because we do have some awesome guests on the show. Before we get started with that, there's our friend Bob. Bob's here, folks, ladies and gentlemen, our very dear friend that we love dearly, and I've grown to just really respect, folks. Mr. Bob Burnell was a very, very sharp guy. This guy, I will tell you, he's someone that I look up to. Very sharp guy. So for tonight for the show, we got some great guests, but we wanted to reach out and let you know. So coming up very soon, we're going to be having the Warren's Paracon, and it's going to be a great event. It's so many great people, so many great things that are going to happen, at the event.
And it's Halloween weekend.
That's right. I am planning on driving my broomstick to the event.
Hold on. Are you gonna wear a costume?
I don't know. I'm kind of thinking about it.
He should wear a costume, right?
I was kind of thinking about I could.
We'll take costume suggestions in the chat right now.
Yeah, what should Keith be? Let's have a fun moment. What should it be? I thought of something that I could be. Maybe you could guess if I did that, you'd laugh.
Right. Oh, okay. Well, don't tell me now then. If we're gonna make it a surprise, are you gonna? I'm
sorry, my cartoon mind. I'm just thinking about who I could be, and I'm like, oh Lord. Anyway,
well, it's all right.
Yeah, but the event, folks, fun event with fun people with some great things happening. You're right up there to Halloween. That Friday night, everybody gets there. I think there's a big VIP party. Swindig.
There is a big party. I don't know what we're gonna do for the party, but we have to do something. Like we have to have dress up or have costumes or like something. Like it's.
There's a lot of talk about some surprises, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, yes.
That there's some stuff supposed to be super secret.
Yep.
Envelope, nobody knows kind of stuff, which that's fun. You get to the event and what is it, but if you're looking for an event at that time of year, right at the Halloween time, and this is the first ever for this, get out there, get to it.
And I see a lot of East Coasters in the chat. So as a fellow East Coaster, it's not too far away. It's a short road trip, maybe 1 to 2 bathroom stops max.
So see, that's
not too bad. You should be able to
for me.
Well, for you, but you're going to fly.
Mine's at 30,000 feet, so at least. So, yeah, but I'll be meeting Kelly there, and we got some other friends of mine that are going to be there. That are going to be kind of supporting us to kind of help us in our ventures. I think we got our one and only amazing that we are so fortunate to have. If I'm not mistaken, Flip's going to be there, but.
He is. That's the
and listen, I gotta tell. Oh, Rob, there's Robin, folks, ladies and gentlemen. I was just mentioning about great people. I'm sitting here mentioning in the words of Flip, and then our friend Robin Kale, our dear heart, our very sweet lady that I meet Kelly both love. She's such a dear heart, just a great person. Is in the chat room with us. We're so blessed. I look at these and I have to tell you, I have to tell you, I'm a big teddy bear. I mean, I am 6'5", big guy all the way around. People see me, there's the bouncer. I get all that. But I tell you, I have a very tender heart because when I have people that I'm surrounded with, the people that I love, I care about, that are part of my peeps, they're that's the ones that I really love doing, not only for this show, but what we do is a feeling and to do this. Hey, our boy Rob Hernandez is in the house, folks. Right there, Mr. Rob Hernandez.
That's right.
Mr. Rob. But the Lourdes Paracon, I will tell you, getting to go to that, getting to be a part of it, some really great people. If you
the speakers list, speakers list in itself is going to be so well-rounded in any area of the paranormal, from Fred Richards, who we had on here, from MUFON and talking about extraterrestrials and UFO life, to, cryptids, to the regular paranormal, at least like how I slipped regular in there. But like all kinds of people, very knowledgeable people, and displays and vendors. And, Tony Spera said that they'd have some of their haunted objects along with them.
Right.
The last time when we had them on the show. So, honestly, it's just going to be a really fun time. The hotel looks nice because I always look into that.
Yeah, you have to, right?
I have like a little thing, like a little hotel anxiety.
Pulling bugs off the pillow, and
how many stars is this one? But actually, it's like a good one. So
that's funny. I'm the same way. But it looks like Robin said, it looks like it's going to be great fun for sure. I get to really kind of. I've been quite the introverted person this year myself. Just not getting to get out a lot. Just so many things going on in the Bailey household. But I know there's a lot. There has been. But I will tell you that between the next couple of months, this weekend I'm going to be in San Antonio at a show. Then, and then of course in October, there's going to be Vulture City 2, and then you're going to be out that Vulture City. That's going to be good. There's another one really cool.
You'll have to video call me from that one.
I know that's going to be fun with those folks for sure. And then, of course, we got the big one there at the end of the month, the really, really, really big show. And that's going to be fun. Lots of peeps there. So as we look at some of these events coming up, folks, it's kind of that spooky time of year, right? We do the spooky thing. But it's really fun because we get out there. And with so many disciplines, right? Clairvoyants, investigators, researchers, all the other hats that are worn in the paranormal, get out there. That's how a lot of times I say this, that's kind of our classrooms, right? Paracons. Mm-hmm. Yeah. We go and listen to other people. Then we become their friend. Then we get to learn from them. And then we go out and we go investigate at a haunted location, use our tools. And then we kind of go from there. And then maybe the day comes, you get well known enough that people get to trust you. They say, hey, I've got something going on in my house. And that's the Holy Grail, whether people know it or not. When you get asked to come to someone's home that has something going on, that is the real pinnacle in the test of our field, because you've got an untouched place that more likely than not has never been investigated. And these people are begging for you to please come and help them. So that is a level to where, your name gets to be at that type of reputation and credibility, and people call and say, I need your help. My family can't sleep at night.
Well, and and they're some of my most profound experiences have come from private pieces.
Yeah.
I mean, I love the public haunts, and I love the big history of the places, that you go to as a big group, and like so many people in the chat that I've gotten to investigate with, and I love dearly. Like all those things are so memorable, but those really profound experiences come from the families and the spirits in those private locations. At least for me, I find that.
And Robin said it. She did. Now it sure is.
Mm-hmm.
When you get to listen to the stories of how sad and how concerning and just it just melts your heart of how they're like, we've got to get some resolve. This is terrible. Yeah. You're like, wow, you've really got to have your stuff. Because as we well know, there's that fine line between when you get in there and start doing your discoveries, and then you're like, is this something that I really want to call that as being possibly paranormal? Or can I find something to say that is not paranormal? Because you're going to, that's why I say, take a picture of it, record it, document it, get it to where you can go back, and you should have anybody in our chat room, any of our colleagues, and they say, you know what? Yeah, there's something going on.
Yeah.
There's something going on. I cannot put an answer to that. And that's when you have something that's like, whoa, oh, wait a second. Let's pull that back. And I know Bob is a real studious person at that. He loves to get in there and, what recording equipment do you use, what so forth. I've reached out to Tony Rothman, which I'm going to tell you in this field, he is the guy when it comes to like EVPs and really getting to sit there and kind of go back and then and try to find out, what could that be? What do you think you hear? Him and his wife are amazing, and he's developing some cutting edge type equipment out there that's probably something that some of the best there is. And he's a really competent and confident, both of them, investigator. So I reach out to him a lot of times to say, Tony, what do you think? I've kind of got this. But that's why I say when I go back to that, these paracons that we go to, that you get the chance to go to, folks, you can go there, listen, learn, and then reach out to these people. And these people are so nice. More times than not, they're like, hey, just friend me on Facebook or message me, and we'll go from there. So another really very cool person in the courtroom, the courtroom, I just said courtroom. Ladies and gentlemen, right now we're guilty as charged. And in the chat room.
In the chat room.
It's in the chat room. Courtroom chat room. Okay, that's going to be a fun one. Rewind that one more time. Anyway, in the chat room is our friend Courtney Peterson. She's been there so many times to put us out there and spread the love, as does Bob, as does Robin, as does Tracy. So many of our friends that are in the chat room tonight. So I will tell you, folks, let's I do want to reach out and say to share some love for Tracy. She's we are all going through our struggles and things in life and challenging times and so forth. But she's one of our very close people in for the show. And certainly there's some challenges in life right now that are that she's going through and that, some things with her family. I will just go on to say, just show some love, reach out, send her a little heart, send her something that says thinking about you. Because I tell you, many of us get put through testing times. I know Tracy is a sweetheart, but just reach out there and send her a little heart thinking about you. Because, my heart goes out to her. So she is a sweetheart. I've got a chance to talk to her on the phone, and what a very sweet person.
She is. She's a sweetie. Two things. So first, I did post in the chat that our guests are delayed a little bit tonight. So if anyone in the chat room has a paranormal question for you or I, they can post it in the chat right now.
Yes.
Hi, we were just talking about you, Fred, that you'll
Fred
be in with
Richards.
us. And part 2. Okay, so I had an idea, but I didn't tell you this earlier.
Okay. It's a surprise.
Yeah, it's a surprise. So I was thinking maybe we could do like a little bonus show / special / gift / festivities for Halloween. Maybe we could do like some sort of fun game, you and I, and like give out some prizes and stuff. Like, I'm just
spitballing.
Maybe it would be fun and we could have people in the chat win some stuff.
Brandon Johnson in the house. Speaking of gifts, our guy. Woo! Big Ben. Brandon Johnson. Speaking of gifts, yes. I'm loving the feeling. I was thinking about that earlier because we got a very cool event coming up. And we talked about when we started this show to all of you, that we were going to be doing some reach out, some shout outs, some love for gifts and things that we want to give back that we come across here. Listen, the Paracons, the events and people and other things that we give out because we want to share that with you, our love and light listeners. When we say we appreciate, we really appreciate you being a part of our family. Mm-hmm. Our love and light listeners that are here and come to us with some great guests and questions and everything else. So anytime Kelly comes up with something like, hey, I got an idea. I'm like, I'm going to pass that on to Kelly because if she says she's got something, she comes across, if you've been following Kelly out there, ladies and gentlemen, live in concert. This is for Brandon Johnson. Ladies and gentlemen, live in concert for one show and one show only. Sold out. Come see Kelly Miller live in concert.
If only I could do a concert. But events, there's a lot of cool events coming up. And, I got some new merch stuff that maybe we could share with you.
Well, look at there. The merch.
Surprises, maybe.
Really big word. Yeah, absolutely. So, maybe we could play a little game. We come up with something like that and see.
Yeah, like something special. Like, we don't have to wait 2 weeks. We could pop in with it early.
We very well could.
We could play anytime.
So folks jumping on.
Right, Robin? Right, me too.
Robin, it's like we love merch. But Brandon got to go. I've followed Brandon the last few days. He's like concert after concert. Yeah. Mosh pit. I'm like, you're killing me, dude. All these bands, 30 bands in 3 days follow Brandon Johnson live in concert in the pit. That could be we could start a new show, Brandon, the Paranormal Pit Party.
There you go.
Rocking it at the bit. But so I don't know how we riddle me this, riddle me that. We could come up with something. But all
right, I have a question for you. No one's posting questions yet, so I have a question for you, buddy.
Oh, absolutely. So
here's my question that I've never asked you before.
Phone a friend, erase 2 wrong answers.
I hope
poll the audience,
I hope that you don't need that for this question.
Oh, well, okay.
I want to know if somebody said we are going investigating right now, and you only could take one thing, you could grab one thing from all of the goodies behind you to take with you, what would it be?
So I say this many times, and I say this because the function of what the tool does a lot. Yeah. And I will say I am a huge fan of the Syntex Paranormal EDI Plus, of all the things it does. And for you to be able to, Bob hit it right there on the head, is that
his vote's yours too.
Yeah, I mean, this, and I'm happy to get it off the shelf. I mean, I think one of my family, let me just get it real quick. It's just within arm's reach, but I don't want to pull this thing off the wall.
Fred, you surprised me. Dowsing rods, Fred. All right.
Yeah, it's not far away. So I don't know if people actually have seen it. or not.
You have a nice orange cover for your EDI.
So they do come in different colors.
Yeah, Flip, you need the orange one.
So the nice thing about this, folks, and I'll just kind of go through it so we get an idea. We'll visit back. So one of the things is amazing about this is we get our temperatures, right? Obviously, we know we need to get our base temperatures. So you need to get a base temperature. Very important. Then you got your pressure, which pressure I'm finding the more investigators I talk to that inside an environment that you're inside there, if you get a sudden change and everybody's constant, nobody's opening the door and everybody's there, and you get this sudden really big change in pressure, that's when they say they start noticing where paranormal stuff starts to happen. They'll get either maybe an EVP, they'll get some sort of photo, something like, wow, did you see that? Or then they'll hear a knock, or it's like, wow, that's cool. So pressure is coming into it. Humidity is something else, right? In a room, if it's constant, you're getting these fluctuations of all these, something to kind of look at. Obviously, we have our milligauss, right? We have our K2 kind of typical thing here, and you can get a base for that. Actually, they're saying now more days than anything, paranormal type stuff can actually be on the low end. It doesn't have to go all the way to red. If you get something around up to about say maybe the kind of that strange little yellowish orange in between that, about the middle, right about the 5, that's when they say, hey, that could be something really very cool. And then, of course, vibrations if you have it on the stairs. So this thing's functions literally are, folks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 functions. Plus, at the top, you can actually put your card in and record this. And then you say, oh, how does that work, Keith? So after you collect all your data from you've taken pictures, EVPs, and then you timeline them and you download this device and you start seeing at that time you caught a picture, at that time you got a recording, at that time you heard a knock, somebody felt maybe scratched or something. You could say, well, it isn't that interesting. At that same time, we documented something, we caught a picture. So I go back and I just say, ask Santa this year, say, Santa, all I want for Christmas is not only my family, but I want an EDI, and get the EDI Plus. They're made right here in Central Texas, Syntex Paranormal. And you could catch them on sale. You really can. But they really do great things. It's a great piece of equipment. It's EDI Plus. It's your friend. And listen, I have them on every investigation. I usually bring about 6 because I do tend to hand them out to people and say, look, I want everybody to experience what we're experiencing. And that's why people say, I love it when Keith comes, he does bring extra equipment. I do. I have an entire huge case full of equipment. And yes, expensive equipment, but I don't mind that because I want people to experience the show. So Bob's putting in there. Nice headset, Keith. Too, Keith. Thank you, Bob. Bob's
so
always
your vote is EDI. That's your vote.
Well,
right. Your one piece of equipment. If I said, let's go right now, hop in the car, you got the EDI. That's what you take.
Yeah, for me, because we have our phones, right? They always are there. Yeah. And they can do both of them, right? They actually do take pictures. So we're always going to have that. And we always we take pictures. So this is a constant. So then all else we do from there is, hey, is anybody there? You talk to me. Are you there? Who are you? Where were you? I was going to picture. We're taking pictures, and then we're doing our thing. But obviously with the EDI, that's when I can sit out and say, now, can you interact with that orange little toy? I call it a toy. It's more inviting. So it's not something like something you think they're getting trapped and play with the little toy out there. And then they tend to want to touch it or do something with it, and then it starts to interact. So that would be my go-to, yes.
Okay, well, guess what else? Okay, so I'm going to completely jump ship and talk to you about something else. So, I when I go into
okay, we may be losing Kelly for a minute, and that's okay. She did mention that the weather may be getting tough there. Uh, any of you folks in the chat room, you're welcome to kind of give me an idea of what let me know your favorite piece. She's back. She's back.
It's great here right now. Like it's lightning and thundering
I
and all this.
know.
I'm
I
not
told him we'd first
kicked out of Joe. What's the luck? So when I go to a place, I help. If I'm helping a team or just in, I personally see and hear and receive message intuitively. Okay, so if I go into a place, that's generally the way that I receive information.
right.
So lately, I kind of want to bridge like a little bit of the elemental cryptid kind of vibe right now, because lately I've seen a really, really interesting cryptid at a location not too far from me that I have never seen before. It's kind of a new form. Okay. So I've seen, and I will never tell anyone what to believe. So in the chat, you can take what I say or leave it. But this is how I see different earth-based energies and elemental energies. So I've seen fairies, I've seen trolls, I've seen, little gnome-looking creatures.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen things like that. But lately, and Fred, you're still in the chat. Okay, good. So lately, Fred,
she's so excited.
This may be you for you, Fred. So lately, I've seen this being that has a globular, almost extraterrestrial looking head, but a kind of Bigfoot looking body. So the head is a lot different than the body. It all looks almost pieced together. So in my metaphysical mind, it could be a couple different things, but it like blew my mind because I kept seeing the same sort of creature, and they're different heights. Most of them are adult height, but some of them are smaller. So I just thought it was interesting. They were very like watchful at this place. And I catch them peripherally, always kind of doing the same motion and always peering in at the location, not coming into the location. So there were a lot of tells for me that resembled that. No, Flip, it's not a gardener. Okay. I wish that.
I was thinking,
oh my God.
Has Flip been seen at the same time where this creature, or are they oddly you see the creature and you don't see Flip? Then
there's nobody. That's what I checked, because
ladies and gentlemen, have we had any Flip serial sightings? Any Flip serial sightings? If you've seen this man, please let us know at the local sheriff's department. Consider him fairly dangerous. Do not pet or feed the animals at any time, as they may tickle you. They may tickle you until you pass out. No, anyway, Flip, this guy's got comedy. He's got a comedy about him that you just can't help but love, because he just drops something. Oh, Ron says her stalker. I don't know. You can only be stalked if you don't want to be followed.
Oh, no, this is all creepy, guys. You have to reel it in. You can't talk about, you can't talk about that.
Okay.
I had creepy experiences like that before, but that's for totally another show and a lot more wine.
What's so
my original question was about this cryptid.
Fred brought up a good point, and I got to say, and we kind of, that's a good point. And I've talked to kind of Bob along this as well. No, good point. Could Bigfoots be this this being that comes and goes in these spaces, and then he's there? People have even said they've seen this Sasquatch type creature, and he's there, and they see him, and then he just vanishes. Like he was going, and that's like, what to me. They were here much longer before we were. So is that the case?
Well, and I think it could be like almost an interdimensional thing, I mean, this is just from my metaphysical point of view. Like, I think it could be almost something like that, but very much like tied to the land, but always very observant. And it was just a very unique creature, because I've seen a lot of different ones, and as the years have gone on of me reading my whole life, I see weirder and weirder stuff. But lately that's kind of taken the cake of like, oh, okay, maybe there's some new things. But that was what I was going to say. Fred, are you still there? That's what I was going to say, that maybe, based on all the things that are happening on Earth right now and in the universe now, and start to, that veil thins a little bit. And as we evolve, other creatures can evolve too. So it was just kind of like, oh, okay, now I'm seeing more interesting things, or getting more profound signs and symbols. But
there's another person that's very credible in this chat room, and I will tell you, if this person would ask spirits and for them to respond, Robin responded with, spirits have told me that the Sasquatches are interdimensional. So Robin has an amazing location, I'm just going to say that, where these spirits know her just matter of fact, like conversationally. Hi, Robin. Hey, Robin. Robin, hi. And she just, hey, guys, and getting to know them, trust them and how they are and their little moods, happy, good times. And for her to ask and say, spirits, do you think that, the Sasquatches or Bigfoots are known to be interdimensional? Yes, they are. You got to think, if spirits are somewhere to where they're able to see them come through as they come through a space, and they see them and we can see them totally full shape and form, it tends to make sense that the possibility even exists that very well could be the case. I do know one of the Indians on one of the shows I hold in high regard that does do a Sasquatch show. And this particular show mentioned that an Indian had seen one. He was right there having basically a moment of just prayer. There was one right there, not too far from him. The Sasquatch kind of commuted to him through like a telekinesis, and he sat there and kind of just prayed. And as he looked at the Sasquatch, it just kind of made a little something over its face, like it just went, I'm gone. And then it just, he couldn't like really see it anymore in full form.
Sure.
But it was like Predator. It's like in the movie Predator, how you see that on the tree and you could see it moving, and it was doing that. Mm-hmm. So there again, there's so much that ties to between UFOs, the Earth, these creatures that have been here for so many years, and how maybe that they do in fact come and go through these portals. I tell you, there's Mike Rinsecker is another super sharp guy, and when it comes to portals, the Alaskan Triangle, all of that, he is the go-to guy. The shadow figures, all of that. And I've kind of spoke to him about that, and he'll even go on to say, he says, Keith, that's a possibility, where that could exist. So I think that we see them here on Earth as we see the footprints, we see these creatures that are moving and so forth, and then they're just in the blink of an eye, they're gone, and maybe they're going on to that other place to where maybe that's why we don't find a body, or we don't the others, and that they're there, and when they know it's that time, they're about to move on, they go to that place, and then poof, they're gone. We don't see them. I think that if they want us to see them, we see them, and if not, it's not going to happen.
Sure. Yeah. And that's the same, for ghosts and spirits, even in a reading. I always say to my clients, if that person wants to communicate, then they'll come through. If they have something to say to you, it doesn't mean you're getting the same people all the time.
Another sharp guy.
All the time. Yeah.
Kelly Thomas Cardos brings up another good point along with that, is that, flesh and blood, ancient beings with abilities beyond our understanding. And, that's why there's people that are in our field that I think study those different type those have those disciplines so that they follow cryptids, all of those. And I got to tell you, he again, I go back to Mike, and I'm going to be out at Vulture City in October. But there's some people there that are also so sharp about UFO. Mike's actually going to be there, and I'm going to be going with him to Ireland next year in for to we're going to go for a week and do some investigations there and some castles and so forth. So that's going to be cool. But I got to tell you, I'm always open to when people say, "Hey, let's go over this subject." And I'm like, well, I know somebody who's pretty sharp about it. And that's why I reach out, because they wear those hats. They're very sharp folks.
Mm-hmm. I just think, like, as the world is changing and all the energy is changing and, universe is changing, I just think we have to kind of look at the possibility that maybe more of the beings are changing as we are. I mean, we are evolving genetically all the time. Whether or not there's a pandemic, we're evolving genetically. So it just makes you think, okay, well, I think by all means, I totally think we are totally not the smartest beings in the universe. Okay. Like, totally not. It's like that meme where they say that, extraterrestrials probably fly by Earth and like lock their doors, like don't even want any part of it. But at the same time, I just think it's all about looking at the world now and the energy now. And I just think that's kind of evolving too. And even messages from spirit lately have been very kind of specific to this time and things that we're going through right now. And also, interestingly enough, a lot of people are experiencing time when their loved ones who've passed aren't as evident to them. So they don't feel someone in particular, or they don't sense someone in particular that they typically get signs or signals from. And it's basically because, from my experience with spirit anyway, that they know that we're going through a lot as humans. So they're still there and they didn't go away. But a lot of times we can feel like we don't typically feel the same way. Like, oh my gosh, where did that person go? Where did that family member go? And really, they didn't go anywhere. But because they know we have to focus on keeping ourselves sane and healthy and, motivated to be a human right now, they kind of just give us that little bit of extra buffer room. So there's just like some changes like now as we're going through the world that I've noticed. And I don't know. That's a random tangent. Since
I go along with that, and I think maybe it's that they see the crystal ball. They see, like we're seeing or knowing what's about to happen. That's one thing with spirits, is they will never tell you next day's events. Mm-hmm. They it's like they can't. It's like in the spirit rule book. You can't tell them about what's going to happen. You can't give them the winning lottery numbers. You can't be telling them, hey, be careful tomorrow. Don't go to work.
I have a different theory about the lottery numbers from my experience with spirit, just so you know.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
My theory with the lottery numbers is that because I believe everyone's energy impacts what they do. So you're not the person who's pulling the lottery numbers. Okay. So the person who's pulling the lottery numbers has a boss who told them what to do. Okay. And then they have like people on set who are telling them what to do. So there's all these people's input and could be last minute changes into the choice of numbers that are meant to come out.
Right.
So, that like running joke, like, oh, could you tell me the lottery numbers? No. Everyone's energy impacts it too much. It's one of those things, but.
Right. And that's a good point. Andy put in there, and Robin as well, so it's a big no-no. But Andy's got down, have you ever thought that maybe you're investigating us? We talk about that all the time.
Yeah.
And that's, when we go into buildings and they're like, oh, look, humans. And maybe the little child spirits are like, look, here's your first look at those humans we've been telling you about. You see them? Oh, they're so scary. And they're mean and they're not nice. And so there you go. And maybe that they're actually getting to see us. Mm-hmm. And then they're like, maybe that's why, if that's the case, they're actually the ones that just say, I don't need this. Mm-hmm. There's too much negativity in that group. Or should I say attitudes. I didn't say that. And that they're like, I don't need that. That there's so much negativity and know-it-allism and they're like, I don't need that. I'm walking away. I'm out of here. And then people say, I didn't get really any evidence tonight. I didn't get anything. And the next night you go with another group of totally different people, and it was the paranormal event of the year. Picture, egos, exactly. And he's got it. Oh, exactly. Lots of those. But anyway, yes. Bob put their pissed. Yes, I get to be that these spirits are like, if we're kind, if we're nice, if we come to them and like, hello, wanting to know, and we have that respect, you tend to get that. But when you come up and you're this, red carpet, pull up, oh, I'm all knowing, I'm all this, look at me, I'm amazing. They're like, I don't have time for you. No. And then they tell them, all of them, come on, we're leaving. We're out of here. And then they say, I didn't get an EVP. I didn't get a knock. I didn't get a blip on a K2. I didn't get nothing. But that's impossible. It's the most haunted building on earth. It's crazy. And you're like, we didn't get nothing. Zero. And it has to be, why is that? Maybe it's the people. And then I say, who are you investigating with? And they're like, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, okay. Anyway, so how about those Astros? You just know that's what that encounter was. And it's like two magnets trying to go. They fit a certain way, boom, they're together. But if they're not, it's like you cannot get them to fit. And so I think that's where a lot of that exists. It just does not happen.
Yes, I agree. And I'm going to jump again to something else. Okay. So I've had all these random thoughts, and now that our poor guests have had this delay tonight, I just am spewing them all to you and everyone in the chat room.
No, that's fine, but that's
sorry, not sorry, but yeah. Okay. So I want to know, because I haven't asked you this either, and this may have something to do with like this coming year. So I want to know what is your top, aside from Ireland, because I know you're going there, your top continental bucket list location?
Wow.
You can only pick one.
Continental. So like far away, huh? Like somewhere like crazy?
Well, no, like in the U.S., somewhere in this
continental, okay, continental. More, okay. You know what? I tell you, I've been to a lot of places, but I have to say that the investigation I had at Bob Christopher and Gina Bingston's Penthurst Paracon investigation was the most amazing investigation we have ever had. And folks, if you got a minute, I'm going to tell you about it. It was such an amazing place. We had a spirit that we went in, and you know how you walk around trying to find a place there, and you're walking and looking and trying to see. So I finally got in there, and I just found a place, and I was like, this just feels right. This feels right over here. So we set up everything we had. We set it up. Got in there, and next thing you know, I started asking questions, and immediately a female says, I'm here. And I mean, I just asked, so spirits, we introduced ourselves, and it says, are you there? Would you like to visit with us? And she says, I'm here. And I'm going to tell you, folks, for over the next 20 minutes, that female talked to us. We asked a question. She answered it with her voice. We asked a question. She answered it. It just went back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. We were like, God. I mean, and we asked, how many people are here right now in this room? Boom, she nailed it. We were like, okay, so what building is this? So she nailed it. We were like, okay, so did you work here? Yes. And she just answered immediately. And we just started going more and more. And this is when the tearjerker happened. We sit there, and after all our conversation, I said, so, we're so thankful for you talking to us. And she goes, it's my birthday.
Aww.
We were like, what? So take a guess at what we did next. Take a guess.
Wait, I hope you sung her happy birthday.
We sang her happy birthday, every one of us. And before we finished, there wasn't a dry eye in the room. Aww. All of us had these tears. We're like, there's something in my eye. I'm okay here. Just something in my eye. And everybody came outside. They were just like, oh my God. It was so emotional. She interacted with our equipment. So we literally had 2, like, off by themselves meters. And she made them both, one right here and one over here, light up. Bing, 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 wow. Bing, 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 bing. And she says, this is fun. And she just was like laughing. And we were like, God. Everyone even said, I have never been on an investigation where so much stuff happened and everybody left saying that was, I said, what do you think, guys? Every one of them says that was the most emotional and special investigation I believe I've ever had. And that was cool. I'll never forget it. Penthurst has got a lot of history. And as you dive into it and learn more about it, you can't help but go, wow, what an amazing place. What an amazing place.
Yeah, there's something really, it's like an awe-filled beauty to me of that place. Mm-hmm. Like you can just envision the way that it did look and the tragedy.
Yes.
But you're also in awe of how things feel now, where it's like, it's almost, even though spirit isn't necessarily peaceful, it feels a whole lot more peaceful than that it felt at that time.
I mean, it was even walking outside. I had my thermal imager, and now take it in mind, I knew where the living people were. They were all around me, around us. We were all together, and I held out a thermal imager, and there were literally, you could see just spirits going. I mean, blue humanoid walking figures just walking back and forth, just walking.
Yeah.
And just walking. I'm like, look at them. And they're just walking and going up. And I'm like, it was so much energy. It was just amazing. I'll never forget it. To this day, even John, he was like, wow. It was really cool. But I hope to get to go back there maybe sometime next year.
If you're there, you're stuck with me because not only do I really enjoy that place, but of course it's close, not too far away. So.
Well, then I'm there. It's so cool, so fun, just such good stuff. Lourdes Gonzalez is in their house. Our friend, our very near dear friend, my buddy, crazy, wild and crazy, Mr. Kevin Hart in the house. I think
he gets you at the hatch.
I think Kevin's looking to get into the tech field. He's wanting to get started and maybe buy one piece of equipment. He's looking to get started in the tech field. He's looking to get it. He's wanting to learn. So I'm going to reach out to him and try to help him. He wants to get it. Maybe one piece. I don't know. He might get 2, but he usually only gets 1. But never 2 of the same. But oh man, Kevin Hart. He's
what do I recommend? I recommend taking me along, Kevin. That's what I recommend. If you want to have a time plus learn some shit, you have to take me along. That's what you have to do, Kevin. But I honestly, I only travel, like, I have my whole gear bag. Flip usually makes fun of me. I have my whole gear bag full of stuff. That's not really a lot of stuff. It's just a lot of lights, blinky things. But I usually just take my flashlights, my twist flashlights. They're my go-to, enough validation for me by what I'm picking up. And my own energy, I know, shocker, everyone, breaks equipment. I don't want to hold anyone else's equipment because I can't afford to buy them new equipment. So therefore, I just stick with my Harbor Freight twisty flashlights, and then I'm good. And that's what I do.
Courtney brings up something that's really a very good topic. residential places. She talks about my go-to place is near where I live. The place has so much sadness, death. In particular, there are 2 females were killed, a 13-year-old and a 23-year-old. I will be there trying to give help to them and bring some justice. Wow. Very, very emotional looking stuff. Oh, wow. So she's got a place apparently to where it has some history of some trauma. And we know that those type of locations just tend to just tornadically spin in that ongoing, unfinished, like, just sadness until we get in there and we try to say, okay, it's, what is it about this that's going on? And then what you do, you can maybe try to bring some peace. She's mentioning that it's a haunted woods, but there are even more, when you're talking about the earth and that type of activity, there's something there that's very, very emotional. I'm sure you could feel that when you go out there to those woods, and then you just feel that kind of heaviness, and I think even the animals feel it. That's for sure. There's something there that, golly, the more she puts, it's like, wow, so tough.
Yeah.
Well, if there's any person that I could feel that would go there and give it its due, I would say it's Courtney. She's someone that's passionate about what she does.
Speaking of places, I may or may not be coordinating a place not too far from me for a select group of people to investigate with me. So although you're in Texas, and I would love for you to come here, I do think maybe if we, open up our little Halloween fun in a few weeks, maybe we could encourage some of the people in the chat room to weigh in with some answers and maybe join me at that place.
Yeah. So folks, as you've heard, we've said this, and we were adamant about this. Either one of us, be it where we're going places and we're going to be there. Kelly's out there, kind of that East Coast kind of corridor to where she's able to make some locations. And Kelly's the kind of, she says, if you got a location and you're, she knows you and, trust you enough to who you are, and hey, load it up, get out there and go investigate. And again, that's really cool, especially if you have somebody that has access to a location, and then they have the, kind of the keys to the door, and then like, hey, come on in and let's get some folks. I highly recommend that, because you very well may be getting, we kind of call that the first kick of the cat. Oh, just get it. First kick of the cat. Meow. Anyway, so it's a little joke there. So in other words, it's an opportunity for you to go out there, investigate with Kelly, and go have fun, because hey, that's really what it's all about. We said that from the beginning, is get out there, investigate, learn, bring your equipment, and I know if I'm there, I'm certainly gonna be there to kind of open up and give you some clues and some ideas about the equipment. And with Kelly, hey, she's going to be there to say what she's picking up on. And then magically between the two, it makes for a really special event. Kevin's putting down, fire up the paranormal RV, Keith.
Yeah, let's do it, Kevin.
Robin's putting down, she says, where are you at, Kelly?
I'm in Pennsylvania, Robin. So like the whole East Coast is fine.
Oh man. Well, the East Coast, Kelly can be going up a little north, or she can go south, or she can just kind of go around that whole corridor. She's up in the corridor for where it's all happening. That's the, when you look at haunted places amidst the whole map of the United States, that's just because that's where a lot of the history is, right? The older homes, buildings, businesses, everything. It's where it's, that's where it's at. So it's a hotbed of all that. So that's very cool. And then you can kind of go out, from there across across the country. Very cool stuff.
That is cool. I see some peeps not too far from me. That's great. I see road trips.
Oh, look at that. You got Robin Kells opening up. I'm thinking maybe it's a Robin and Kelly moment there. You get to go
and Courtney
hit the road.
Yeah.
Robin would be a blast. Hey, grab the pups and let's hit the road.
That's right.
Courtney's there and said, I'm right there. It says Bob put down a little love there. We should all chip in together and rent the SSA. That's a good point, Bob. I have yet to get to go there.
Me too. I've not been.
I've not been. So 2022, we'll find us getting to go there. But I will tell you, from everything I've learned, everybody's telling me, go when it's cooler. Go when it's cooler. Go in the months to where it's not blistering cold. Just go when it's nice and cool. A nice maybe highs in the 60s, lows in the the 50s or whatever, somewhere in there, right? Nice and cool. Do not go when it's miserably freezing, horribly wicked cold, and certainly do not go when it's highs in the 90s or 95s or whatever, because when you're in that metal encasing there of that ship, inside there, that confined space, it is so yeah. Bob put in there 2040. So yeah, we went in August and it sucked. It was real hot. Yeah, and it's hot. Listen, it's hot.
See also every location in West Virginia. Yeah. Don't go when it's hot. Just don't go when it's hot.
Yeah, and, try to wait. Nice and cool. Nice. It's better. Everybody's kind of doing their thing, and it's so much nicer there. So, at the top of the hour, folks, we mentioned about going to the Warren's Paracon. I will just reemphasize that it's coming up in October. It's going to be a really, really super cool event. Lots of folks, lots of fun things. It's gonna be a must go. You really should go and have fun. You get a chance to get there. And this is the first ever of it. So it's the first of this. So you get a chance to go, go make it happen. Go make it happen. Miss Kelly.
There's a good piece.
Yep. So we've been saying that some of the weather going through where Kelly's at has been really tough, and I'm going to be experiencing some bad weather myself for the night. So yeah, we may have lost her. Yeah, and Bob, always listen. You're always we love having you in the chat room because we know you're another veteran in this field, and we reaching out to you, and you're another one of our people that we listen. You're always going to be loved and respected on this show. You had to know that from the word go. And we're both, either one of us are a phone call away. There's always for that. Kelly, we're just speaking. So yeah, but we were just talking about our Love and Light listeners a little bit about talking about the fact for the Warren's Paracon.
Yes.
Oh yeah, so Kevin's saying I need some equipment. What devices do you suggest, Keithy?
Oh.
Yeah. So I did mention earlier, Kevin, that if you had to have a piece of equipment, this really is the one, really, guys. You got your phone, and when you got your phone, you've got two pieces of equipment that are already just right there, right? So you got a phone. You're going to be able to take pictures and record. And you've even got the apps on it to do really cool stuff. So you got your phone. That's a constant. In excess of that, your EDI has so many of the functions. Plus, you can obviously see, you load that up. You're able to get in there. You're able to document your findings. And once you can correlate that, timeline it with your other events for the investigation, then you can start to say, hey, I think we have something. So
Kevin, we're going to stock the Paranormal RV with all this equipment.
Yeah, and I'm thinking this Kevin Hart guy, he's wanting to at least maybe get one piece of equipment. He's wanting to kind of break into the field. He's on the fence is what to get. He'll only buy one piece of equipment of maybe each, so he'll get one. So he'll get one.
Okay.
And then if there's another device, he's just going to get one. But so EDI, Kevin. So it's E as in Echo, D as in Dog, I as in Indian, EDI. And then it's plus, like when you add plus, EDI plus. Great thing. Well, I will tell you, we have had a very fun.
Well, the show was unexpected, just like the weather here today.
Yeah.
So, and our guests they had something come up very suddenly. So they were dealing with that and weren't sure when they could pop on. So I did say to them that perhaps we could get them on in the following show or one thereafter. So we will still get them on.
We're going to get them on. We got some another. Yeah. We got some other super cool guests.
Yeah. And you can check out their show every Monday night at 9:00. So I'm not sure if they were able to start their show or not, but you can find them by looking up their information on Facebook. They have their links and things in there too. So we'll get them on another time. In the meantime, I enjoyed talking with you.
Absolutely, we had fun. We got a lot of things from Bigfoot, UFOs. We about some locations. I talked about a lot of things, and that's all those things. That was what we talked about on the show. A little bit of talk, a little bit of tech, but the main thing, folks, we are so blessed to have you, our friends. Kevin McGinnis joined us. We're wrapping up here, and but again, we also did mention about the Warren's Paracon. You get a chance to go out that in October. Right around that 29th, 30th, and 31st, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Come hang out.
Come hang out. We're going to have fun. We're going to be there. As always, it's always fun to get to hang out with our peeps. Yeah. We love all of you. Yeah. We will see you in 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
Maybe something special, too, for Halloween.
I'm thinking something special. But I'm thinking about a special guest, too. I just need to make that phone call. So please, let me tell you, folks, when that happens, it's going to be special, super cool stuff. And what do? It's going to be fun. But every one of us, as always, we say, we truly love you. You're one of us. You're our Love and Light listeners. And, take that opportunity to go out and be kind. You never know, that kindness that you share with someone out there may be the very kindness they need that day to just give a little love and light. So
that's right. That's right. Aw. Well, good night, everybody, and we will see you in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.